Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for this one lights out post-fight presser. We've been waiting for the former double champion. He was absolutely on fire tonight, and now he's here. So please have your questions at the ready. Martin, the situation, Nguyen, what a performance. Great to see you. You must be absolutely loving that one. How pleased are you?
Yeah, man, I'm actually grateful. It's actually been 3 years exactly since I've spoken to you guys after the fight. So I was always on the short straw end of the fights, the last two fights. So I'm happy that I'm here. I'm grateful for the journey, and I'm grateful to be here, man.
We're going to go to our media questions now then, and we'll start with Dylan Bowker of Sportskeeda. Dylan, go ahead.
Oh, I'm doing well. I imagine you're doing pretty well getting that kind of victory, but I'm sort of surprised just leading into the knockout there. Like, it seemed like there were certain moments where Gorobets really showed that durability. Like, did that surprise you at any point?
Not to be cocky or anything, but he was breathing kind of heavily, so it was just the beginning of the end at the start of that second round. So it was just about picking my shots. There was some times there where I could have just unloaded some huge shots on him when he had the knee down, but I kind of give the benefit of the doubt with the ref wanted to step in or not. The ref said a word, he stood up, and the fight continued. But there was a couple of moments in that fight where it should have been stopped earlier than when it was.
And I'm curious also, just because of the submission grappling kind of call out there, obviously the history with Christian Lee is there. Like, is that more about wanting to facilitate a quick turnaround? Is it getting on the 1X show? Like, what was the, I guess, nucleus of that call out there?
Yeah, so it was like the grappling thing is, they're signing huge grappling names. And, I came from a grappling background. I started my whole journey through jiu-jitsu. And I know Christian might be there for his sister's fight, so why not make money out of it? I might even be here at the 1X show, so why not make money grappling it out? I know he's not going to make weight anytime soon in the featherweight division, and the fans and the media keep calling for a Nguyen versus Lee 3, so I was like, let's just grapple it out. I'm sure he wants that one back. It's no animosity. I respect Christian. He's a great champion, a great human being, and this is no animosity towards Christian at all. I'm just saying, let's make money for our family, man.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely got that impression when I heard the call out too. But just curious how you're planning to celebrate this win here. Lastly, from me, it seemed like you were ripping some Call of Duty a few weeks ago there. Like, you going to be doing some of that?
Yeah, look, I haven't touched the game for a whole week now. But shout out to Activision for always looking after me, and my manager Reese for hooking it up with Call of Duty. But no, I actually owe the family so much time. I've 8 weeks to be exact that I was at home, and I got to see my kids sleep, and I got the hug. My heart was full, but I physically wasn't there for them. So I'm there for them now. It's their time.
Our next question comes from Nick Atkin of South China Morning Post. Good evening, Nick.
Yeah, congratulations, man. First of all, I know it must mean a lot to you. Can you just tell me a little bit about what the last couple of years has been like? You touched on it briefly in the interview there, but what depths did you go to, and the despair you felt? You said you questioned whether you still wanted to do this or felt you were good enough.
I was at the lowest of low, man. Losing my title after being 3 years dominant champion, losing in the most embarrassing way in the second fight. I was in a dark hole, and for me, I don't usually read comments or anything like that, but I read comments this time. I don't know why, and it kind of hit me in the heart. Like, these guys were saying I was finished, glass jaw, blah blah blah. You get hit, blah blah blah. I mean, it's a fight. You're gonna get hit. It's just unfortunate the way the last two fights happened. But I read them, even though I shouldn't have, and I let it get to me, even though I shouldn't have. And what made the cherry on top was during this fight week, where Kirill said that I was done, I was past my prime, and that sparked something in me. I mean, I was already fresh from a fight camp, and I had so much faith behind everything that I've been working on, but he sparked that extra fire of me wanting to do damage.
And your approach seemed to be a lot more patient. Was that by design after the last couple of fights? And yeah.
I always get told off from my coaches. Always get told off from my coaches. Angla, Henry Hoof, Coach Chrysler. I have this I have this part of the fight where it's so exciting, and I land a punch, and I'm like, oh man, that felt so good. Let's land it again, and that's where I always get hit, and obviously the tables turn from there. So it's always been my game to be patient, to figure out my opponent, to wear him out, figure out what his game plan is, and then up to ultimately shut it down and then come back with my fight game. But yeah, it was just a matter of, man, every fight that I have from here on, I'm making a second title run, and every fight that I have from here on is going to be the most professional Martin Nguyen that everyone has ever seen, where it becomes more of a technical chess match, and I'm at the same time I'm taking your head off. So, and
last one from me. You said you want to go back to Sanford MMA. You promised Henry Hoof, but is part of you tempted to maybe stay in Australia after this performance? What elements of this camp beneficial to you, being closer to the family?
100%, man. But you know, the only thing that really lacked in this training camp were training partners. It was strictly not that it was a bad thing, but at Sanford you have like high quality sparring, high quality, like you train it's things that you just got to train your eye in the sense of a fight for, and Sanford provides that under fucking world-renowned coaches. What I have here in Australia, obviously I have my family, and I get more time with the coaches in Australia. So I have a lot more one-on-ones with my striking coach, Chrysler, and my jiu-jitsu coach, Kian, and just a bunch of killers on the ground as well at Cabra Kai. So my grappling was, there was never a scratch there, and I sparred boxing. I never did. Realistically, I'd done maybe 1 to 2 MMA sparring rounds this whole 8-week camp. The rest were boxing or jiu-jitsu. It was never a mixed martial arts thing where takedowns were involved as well. I probably did it once or twice with my boy Anthony.
Next up, we're going to go to Conan from Conan Daily. Conan, your mic is open.
Hey, congratulations, Martin. You mentioned to Mitch right after your win that if it weren't your wife and your kids, you wouldn't be here. Could you please elaborate on that?
I was in a dark hole, man. Coming off 2 losses. My wife seeing me at my lowest in this sport. The whole team, everyone seeing me at the lowest at this sport. Everyone picturing me that I was done. Man, I live and breathe MMA. This is all I know. And for people to kind of doubt me and take me off the pedestal. Not that I want to be on the pedestal, but kind of take me off the MMA spotlight. Kind of cut me, and I don't know. The interest in training and all that, it just wasn't there. But training for my kids, training for myself, training for my wife, training for my family in general, training for my team, training for the ones that believed in me was the sole motivation, and also to prove to the world that I can still bang and hang with the rest of the world. So that was this pure self-motivation to come back and do that.
Your opponent, Kirill, do you think he is tougher than you expected him to be, or was he exactly?
I never watched one clip of his fights. I let that to my coach Chrysler and my jiu-jitsu coach Kian Pham. Look, Henry Hoof, he liaised with Chrysler and we worked our game plan and everything from there. But I realistically didn't watch a fight of his, and everything that he did was everything that we trained for, and I'm grateful that my coaches and my team prepared me well.
Kyle Siegel from the Going Live Network.
You mentioned that grappling match with Christian Lee. What does your journey look like after that? Is it a return to featherweight to chase the title again, lightweight?
Nah, I'm staying in the featherweight division. With one's new rule of the 5% body weight thing, I got to cancel the bantamweight division out of my foresee future. I'm staying here at the featherweight division. It's where I belong. As I said, I'm making a second title run for that title to get it back. Fulfill all my dreams of becoming a world champion again, and going from there.
Right. Yeah. No, we'd love to see you fight again. And then I know you said your wife and kids were your rock to get back to this. Having a legend like Henry Hooft and someone with a pedigree of Ong La and all those fighters at Sanford, does that give you some extra fuel to the fire as well?
100%, man. Those guys not only my mentors, but it's family, for real. It's actually family. The way they take me in and the way they treat me is the same way my mom and my brother teach me, and my sister teaches me, and my whole family treats me. Sorry, so I'm kind of blessed to have them in my life.
Let's go to Derek Wright.
Kind of seems like this is sort of a third act of your career. You seem like a new fighter, a new person. I just kind of wanted to know, like, what do you think are the biggest differences now as a fighter in person since when you started in ONE Championship? I know that was a long time ago. You've had a long career, but you know, where do you think you've gotten to now?
Okay, I'll tell you a huge difference between the old Martin and the new Martin. It only happened up until September last year, where I got knocked out by Kim Jae-woo. I kind of figured that I spent so much negative energy towards hating someone that I don't even know at all. Hating someone. And hate is a bad word. And I say this because I was in that young mind mentality, like every fighter, like, you know, I'm going to kill this guy. I want to beat the shit out of this guy. I want to F him up so bad. But I'm like, it came to a point where I spent more energy in that than the actual fight itself. And I kind of figured that, like, man, why do I need to be like this? I need to focus my main energy on what counts the most, and that is me being able to perform. And that was a turning point. I hated Tan Lee, I hated Kim Jae-woon equally the amount, but all in all, they're nice guys. I don't know what, I mean, it's that young man mentality, you know, that young killer, young fighter, egotistic. I hate this, I hate that, I want to kill them, I want to punch them in the face. It's going to happen. The cage doors are going to close and we're going to fight. But I just spent my energy on the wrong places in my fight system. So, yeah.
Bong Lazada, do you have a question?
Yep, I'm here. Hi, Martin. Congratulations on the win. You've mentioned when you were younger, you wanted to punch the shit out of your opponent, but now you're getting older. You're a family man. So how does that kind of attitude reflect on being a father to your kids?
Dude, that attitude and this current mentality is what I want my kids to go through, you know. I even say it to my daughter and my son when I take them to events and, you know, their sporting events. Look, just do your best. Don't worry about anyone else. Don't focus on anyone else. Just focus on yourself. Always practice to be better and keep being better. And, you know, it's just that I want the best for them. And then, so being negative towards someone else that you don't even know, that's just wasting good energy that you have inside. So, look, whatever I have in my heart, I kind of try to, my wife as well, trying to push onto the kids to always treat people better than what they are, or even give them the benefit of the doubt. Anyway.
That was Bong Lazada from Inquirer.net. Thank you, Bong. Next, we have a text question from Randolph Leongson of Spin.ph. He asked, you and your wife have a truly special bond. How much does she mean to you?
Is that even a real question? I'd die for her. I'd die for her. I literally die for her. So I hope that answers your question.
Next up, we are going to go to Luisa Morales, who has a text question from the Philippine Star. She asks, what were you communicating at the beginning of the third round when you pointed at Gorobets and nodded?
That it was just the beginning of the end. Every single time I pointed at him, he took a deep breath in like it was his last. And I was like, I got you, man. I got you. It's coming. I was just letting him know, like, I got you, man. It's coming sooner than you know it. That's obviously egotistic. It's in my head. Bit of mind games as well, but I was pointing at him to let him know that I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying in your face.
All right, we've got our next text question coming from Panupong Thairat from Thailand Media. You mentioned Christian Lee as a potential opponent in a grappling match. Anyone else you have in mind for an MMA fight?
MMA fight, the whole featherweight division is on notice. Whether it's going to be a rematch, whether it's a new potential match, everyone is on notice. And trust that.
All right. Next up, we've got a question from Tim from MMA Sucker. Tim asks, Martin, great victory. Did you ever find out if he was Mexican or Filipino?
I don't know, man. One day he wakes up eating tacos. The next day he's eating balut. Lechon, I don't know. We're still trying to figure it out.
We will open the microphone of Mr. Ivan Stewart of Dugout Philippines. Go ahead, Ivan.
Are you looking to face the Tanle Garriton and win immediately, or will you still fight like 1 or 2 times before thinking about the world title?
The world title will come slowly but surely. Let me just work. Let me just soak this win in. As I said, the whole featherweight division's on notice. So whoever ONE Championship give me is my next victim. But you know, good luck to. I'm sure they're fighting now. Good luck to either Christian. Sorry, not Christian. Tan Lee or Gary Turner. May the best man win. You're still going to be in the top 5, so they know already that I'm a potential opponent.
I just wanted to ask you, Martin, tell us about those body shots because they look pretty sweet. How good did it feel to land those?
I swear, when it lands, you know they're going down. But I threw one very, very good one. I think it was in the first round or the second round, and he ate it, and I felt his whole, like his abs and everything tense, and I was like, okay, he's putting on a good poker face. I just got to be patient and not rush it. But when I hit that second one and he took a knee, I was like, man, like that hurt. I think making a man quit via a body shot is more satisfying than putting him out cold.
You've had some sweet finishes in your career. We know you for this. How do you rank this one, given everything you've been through? It was pretty lively.
It was performing. It was dominating. It was, you know, something for the crowd to look at me and say, man, he's got pretty decent boxing. But at the end of the day, man, it's like Chachu said, you perform for yourself, you perform for your family, you perform for your crowd. As much as I believe in that, that's the main focus, right? You go out there, you put on a show, you wish to earn the 50K or make everything better. If you don't, you're grateful, you move on, and you go from there.
Martin, you're the man. Great to see you back in the win column. Maximum respect. Thank you to the media for your questions. Stay with us.